many people, we don't really get what we need. So let me start by saying thank you, y'all, for joining. My intention today, I'm always big on setting an intention. My intention today is to show you, first of all, a whole new way of accruing money, building generational wealth for your family. You might have heard of business to customer. I'm sure you've heard of business to business, but I want to show you today business to government. And I want to also share with you how I got my very first contract through the government. And, you know, it was really a contract that came looking for me. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm always infusing divine truths with business principles. David said that surely goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life. And another translation says that it'll chase after me. And I can tell you for a fact, I'm a living witness, because once I finish this process that I'm going to show you, the first contract that I got through the city came chasing after me. So it was really a blessing. So I wanted to set that intention first. You're going to see money differently. You're going to see the government differently. You're going to see the government as not just an entity that you're paying taxes to, but also that you can partner with to help you build your business, to build generational wealth for your family, because that's what it's really about. Ultimately, using your resources and leveraging your resources to create your own economy. That's what I really help people do, create your own economy. All right, so I want to open it up first. I want you to tell me a little bit about who you are, what brought you here, and when I say what brought you here, not so much to this session, but what brought you to this place of wanting to know more about government contracts. Do you have a business? Are you licensed? All of that. So I'm gonna start with you, Mimi, because I've known you the longest.
I knew you were going to come to me. You'll have to excuse, you might hear my son in the background, mom life. But
oh, congrats.
Thank you. I am a manicurist, and what I've noticed is there are a lot of different ways that each state allows manicurists to work. And so what my hope is to get every state aligned with one practice. And I know a lot of that will have to do with going to the government and allowing those processes to be seen and viewed and appreciated under one kind of entity. And so what I'm super interested in is just trying to figure out how I can start that business and align that with the government so that every manicurist in every state can be aligned under one rule and one cohesive kind of process. So that's really why I'm here.
Okay. So look, you never have to apologize for having your children on. That's what this is about. I mean, that's what this is. I mean, really, that's what it's about. It's about leaving a legacy. We can't leave jobs to our children. It's just,
right.
We can't do it. And we can't even really leave a business that we're owner and operator in, but we can leave a system. You know, that's what motivated me to do it. So I want to repeat this back to you. You're a manicurist, and what you want to do is see processes be aligned across the 50 states, but more specifically, you to have a business that's aligned with the government.
Right. So what I would like to see happen is to have representatives from each state, come back and say, okay, there's a manicurist having an issue in this salon. How can we help her? How can we make sure that this person is being paid fairly? How can we make sure that they're receiving the right education? All of those kind of things.
Got it. Okay. Now, do you have a business license? Is your business licensed today?
No.
We got to get that. Now, where are you at, Mimi?
Everywhere.
Oh, you got, okay. Okay. Yeah. We got to, okay. So no LLC yet, but you're in New York. And I want to ask you two things. The first is, and I want to ask you the same thing, Queen. So now that you heard Mimi first, you could be thinking about this. What is your, and maybe you already said it, but let's just say it again if you said it. Mimi, what's your intention for your business?
My intention for the business is to ensure that every manicurist is treated fairly, that they're receiving proper wages, and that, when they have concerns about fair practices or work practices or any of those things, that they have someone in some place that they can go to just to ensure that they will get all the assistance and all the help that they need.
Okay. Do you have that written somewhere?
You know what's funny? I said I said wow to myself silently because that's the first time that I've been able to put it into words. So no, if you can send me that clip so that I can write that down for myself.
You definitely get this. Everybody's going to get a copy of this. And like I said, thanks y'all for joining because everybody else is going to pay for this. So y'all are getting this firsthand. Really, I mean, you are paying. You're paying with your time, and I want to share that with you too. That's one of the things I don't think we think enough about. That time. People always say time is money, time is money, time is money, but it really is the most important commodity that we have.
Mm-hmm.
So I want you, Mimi, to write that down. I want you to write it because what's going to happen is you write it, it's going to become so much more clear to you. And
Mm-hmm.
what that's going to do is that's going to begin to drive people to you that need you. And it's going to get more succinct. You're going to be able to put that on a bumper sticker.
Mm-hmm.
The clearer you are on your intention, the better you're going to be able to achieve it. So the last thing I'll ask here, and then I'm going to move on to Queen, then we're going to get into the meeting. What is your intention for today, for this session?
My intention today is to learn as much as I can so that I can start to put this idea that I have into motion.
Okay.
Because I have this idea for a couple years now and just haven't had the resources, time, any of those things to actually put it in motion. And so what I'm hoping to do today is just to learn as much as I can so that I can take the next step in bringing this to fruition.
Will you make the promise with me right now, Mimi, that within 48 hours, you're going to take an action step on something that you've heard today?
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm going to hold you to that. This is what I want for people that are writing things down. Do the thing, and the thing will give you power. That's what a lot of times we don't do. We plan, we read, we analyze, we say this is this. My goal, Mimi, today is part of my intention. What's up, Robert? Thanks for joining. You're the last person actually on today. This is a closed session, so appreciate you, Robert. My intention today, Mimi, and this is for everybody, is to get you off of someday I'll do this and I'll do that. It's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Ain't no someday on the calendar. I want you to take action within 48 hours. I promise you, what I'm going to show you today, I'm telling you, it's going to change the way that you think about money. It's going to change the way you think about the government. And it's going to change the way you think about, because you said something really powerful. You said, well, you didn't have the resources. Well, this is what the most powerful resource you have, Mimi. One is your time. Secondly is your intellectual property. You have that. You've got time and you got your intellectual property. And I want to show you how to use that to get exactly where you want to be. I mean, we can't get into all that today within 60 minutes, but what we can do is at least lay the foundation for how you can start getting some free money. All right. So got that there. I'm going to come to you next, Queen. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what your intention is for today.
Well, just like Mimi, I'm sorry, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Queen Oceania. I'm a renowned activist that fights for change in the city, and also the rest of the country. I'm very, very big on. Sorry about that. That's my sister. Nani, shh, 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 shh. Nani, I'm on the phone. Sorry about. I'm on the phone. Yeah, sorry, that's my sister. Yeah, I apologize. I'm with my sister. Yeah, sister wife. So yeah, I'm also an activist that fight for change. I'm very huge on you know fighting for the rights of youth, accountability, jail reform, bail reform, also to pass laws protecting people that's wrongfully incarcerated. I also stand for gay, LGBTQ rights, and that's just pretty much it. What I really want to learn here is how to like expand my brand, and see how much more I can do like to help my community, like either um possibly like starting a group, or um or having my own organization. I mean, currently I'm in school, now to get a degree in early childhood development. But I'm here to like learn how to to expand like the brand.
Expand your brand, early childhood development. Let me ask you something, Queen. Do you have a business right now do you have a business right now?
No, I do not. But my sister does. She makes bracelets, and she sells bracelets and paintings.
You need to sit your sister next to you while we're talking. I mean, like you said, no, I'm being serious. I'm being serious. I mean, I'm being serious. I wrote my first book at 18 years old. And I'm going to tell you something. When the earlier you learn entrepreneurship, the learner you learn how to become an enterprise, not just to have a business, but to become a business, it's going to change your life. So I do want to just say this really quickly. I want to appreciate y'all. This is what, Sunday at 12. I used to like being this so-called perfectionist. I used to feel weird at first on Zooms, like, oh, it's background noise, it's this, what's that. But you know what? I invite it now, and I'll tell you why. Because this is life. I mean, you're going to have to build your business in the middle of life. And what happens is sometimes we sit in seminars and that's great, and we get the motivation and we hear all the things, and then we go back to life, and it's like, how in the world do I put this into place? So I understand that you're going to have to, all of the distractions, all of the background noise, both figuratively and literally, these are all the things you're going to have to deal with through life. So I want to show you how to like navigate that. All right. You said building your brand. So Mimi building the business, Queen building the brand. Let's kind of get into it. I want to start with this. I want to start with sharing with you the things that you're going to need to do before you get minority certified. So that way you have a business, because in order to have your business be minority certified with the city, the state, or the federal government, you got to have one, right? It's like, my cup runneth over. Yes, but you got to have a cup. I need you to have a cup. And I hope me telling you this story will motivate you to get business license yesterday. 2020 and 2021, the government printed more money than it did since it started printing money. I'm going to say that one more time. 2020 and 2021, the government printed more money in those 2 years than it did the entire time it's been printing money. What happened during that time?
Inflation.
Not yet. 20 and 21, not yet.
Oh, wait, yeah, the COVID happened.
COVID happened. So I want to repeat this because I really want you to get this. 2020 and 2021, the government printed more money than every other year combined.
That's
than
insane.
printing money. It's insane, isn't it? So this was the thing. I had a friend who I told when the PPP loan, before the PPP loans came out, he actually, I'm gonna share a little bit of my story here. Y'all already know, for those, y'all pretty much already know me. Y'all know I had to rebuild about 4 years ago. I didn't have a bank account. So I had to, and this is the thing, I really shouldn't say rebuild, because I had a job before I went in that dark place. I came out and started learning how to build companies because I had to learn how to create my own economy. See, when you back into a wall, your whole mindset changes. But look, I told one of my boys who I was in this dark spot with, I said, look, you need to get your business license. Yeah, I'm gonna get it. You day trading, doing all this stuff. Get your business license, kid. Yeah, I'm gonna get it. All right. Pandemic happened. 2020. PPP loans came out. They're giving out 20,000 a pop. Just all you needed was what? All you needed was an EIN, and you had to show you had it for a year. So who got the loan? I got it. Didn't have to pay it back. My man was like, man, I should have got. I said, I told you, get it now. You never know what could happen. Get it now. Do you think he got it? This was March. When did they get it first? This was June of 2020. Do you think he got that business license then?
Of course not.
Didn't get it. Didn't get it. Because I think it's this thing. See, this is what I want to show you as I'm teaching you here. It's a mindset that keeps people held back. It ain't the resources. It's a mindset. I'm telling you something. It's a mindset that keeps people in a state of stuckness. I think his thinking was, respectfully, you know, they did this one time. When are they ever going to do this again? So he didn't get the business license. Well, you know how the story goes. About a year later, Trump came back because Trump Trump was trying to win again. So he said, we're going to release more funds. Who you think got 20 again? Me and my man, mad as heck. I'm going to say heck because I might have pastors and religious folk that listen to me later. I don't want them to tune me out. But he was mad. He was mad. I told him, you should have gotten the license. And so he did end up getting the license. The problem is he got the business license, then got the EIN. But by that point, he wasn't really able to take advantage of it because you had to have it for a year. So if he would have gotten it when I told him first time, he would have had 40,000. Free money. Anybody that got that did not have to pay it back for the most part. And if he would have gotten it the second time I told him, right, once we got the money from the first PPP loan, he would have at least gotten another 20. So I just want to share with you really quickly, it's the mindset. And that's partly what I want to help people do, change their mindset around this. All right, I told you I was keeping it small and intimate. Robert, I want to give you a chance to jump in here. Tell us who you are. You know, you're one of my favorite people in the world. Tell us who you are and tell us your, and I know you already have a company. You're president of a towing company. Tell us what your intention is for your business and for you being here today. I'm gonna give Robert. Oh, there you go, Robert. All right.
Sammy, how you doing? My name is Robert. I'm here today. I'm here today, to learn how to expand my thinking. Get out of the stagnated mindset. And just to help grow as a person. Learn and grow, incorporate the new things I'm learning in my daily life.
What's your towing company called, Robert?
6 Star Automotive Services, and I just bought a new dually truck and trailer, so I'm looking to establish that as well.
That's what I'm talking about. So you have the LLC, okay, and you already have your EIN and your business bank accounts, right?
Yes, correct.
Good. Okay, so you're already for a little bit further along. So we got people at different stages. This is good. That's why I want to keep this small and intimate. So we got you, Robert, who has your LLC, got your EIN, got your bank account. Mimi, you have a powerful idea, and I know you've been doing this for a while. I know you've been doing artistry for a while on different levels. So now it's just about turning it into I don't want to say a legitimate business, but turn it into a business that the government recognizes. That's what we see. That's the first thing. I want you to get to a place where the government recognizes. It doesn't recognize you until you have LLC, S-Corp, INC, C-Corp. Once the government recognizes you and turns their head, you've gone from just being a payor to the government to becoming a partner. And then Queen, who you want to build your brand and really take this mission that you have in life and turn it into, I'm putting words in your mouth here, but monetize it a bit, because if you're going to really expand your brand, like you said, it's going to take money. You're going to want to monetize that. So, all right, let me get into it. Go ahead, Robert. Did you say something?
Not there.
Okay, got it. All right. Got it. So just throw on mute if you can, Robert. Just so I appreciate you. So, yeah, I appreciate you. And let me give Robert his flowers, and then I'm gonna call him out real quick. Then I'm gonna get right into it. I kind of saw Robert start his company, and he has another name, a nickname, but we don't go by that nickname. I don't call him by that nickname because the nickname is a past paradigm. That nickname didn't make him a CEO. Robert Tull is the CEO. And so, I'm proud to see that you started your company. I think the last time I actually saw you in person, you were talking about buying the truck. You just had the one. So congrats on getting the other one. So want to give you your flowers there. But I also want to call you out because I want to help you take some more steps so that way you can monetize quicker. And I hope that you see this through this. There are other people who are willing to fund your vision. They're willing to fund your vision if you are positioned correctly. And I want to show you how to get positioned correctly so you're not just doing business to consumer, because that's probably a lot of what you're doing, Robert. Really quickly, just take yourself off me really quickly. Do you do business to customer more or business to business more?
Business to customer.
Okay. What if you had one customer that paid you handsomely and that customer was that would be a game changer. That would be a game changer. What's up, Nibs? That would be a game changer. How you doing, Nivea?
Doing well. Hey.
What's up? So, Nivea, you came in at the perfect time. So I'm just going over intros really, really quickly. Tell us, Nivea, who you are, what your intention is for today. You on mute, Nivea.
Hi. Now I'm here. My name is Nivea Ham. My intentions is to get a little bit more information of how I can grow my upcoming businesses that I'm trying to start at this moment. So I just want to get all the information I can so that way once it really gets started, it'll be smooth sailing from there. So
Perfect. Well, look, thanks for joining. I know you said you were at church. Nivea comes from a powerful family. I've known her family for a long time. The Ham family, they are giants in the kingdom of God. So yeah, thanks for joining. And that's what this is about. Just really quickly, like for me, money is not about the paper dollars. That's the lowest form. Money is the symbol of the energy of freedom and abundance. When you start seeing it like that, you start thinking differently about it. And so for me, the money is the tool and the resource to be able to spread the gospel, which is the good news. It's the good news that there are better ways to live. All right, so let me show you in that vein how to have life and have it more abundantly. We're going to start first with the things you need to do to get recognized by the government, then to get minority certified, and then how you can maybe start bidding. And I'm going to show you some things of how. Now I know, Nivea, you're in Maryland.
yes.
So got it. So I'm in New York. So I'm going to show y'all some things from New York, but these are things you can apply whatever state you're in. All right. So at any point, ask questions, stop me if I'm going too fast. So let me start at the very beginning. What things you're going to need before? The first thing is you need to get your LLC. It's really simple. Go to your state's website. And you know what? Let me pull this up because I want people to just really kind of see this. Before I go further, Mimi did it, but other people did. And I just want to hear by answer of yes. Do you commit that within 48 hours, you will take an actionable step on something I've shared with you today? I want to hear yes from each person.
Yes.
Okay. Robert and Queen, I'm waiting on y'all.
Yes, I'm trying to.
No, I got you. I know you're in there. Queen.
Yep, sir. Yeah, sir, I'm right here.
Okay. Well, yeah, I know you're here. Yes, you will take a step on something that I've shared with you in 48 hours. That's what I'm asking. Do you commit to that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. As I'm pulling this up, let me just share something else with you because I want to continue to drop knowledge to you. Most people never get committed. That's why they never achieve what they want to achieve. They're interested, they're involved, but they're not committed. So the first thing that you're going to do is I want you to go to your state and put LLC New York, get LLC. Now, you can register as an S-Corp, a C-Corp, an INC. I really don't have time to get into the differences now. I would encourage an LLC to start off with. I think that that's the smartest way. Really quickly, the reason why I think that's the smartest way is because the LLC flows through your personhood. In a short term, this is what that means. If you have an INC, which is what you would need if it's a public corporation, all the things you see that are traded publicly are INCs. They have shareholders and all that, but it's a double tax. So if you have an INC and it makes, let's say, $250,000 in a year. Let me make it for you, Mimi. Mimi, you're a manicurist. You make $250,000 through your business, and it is an INC. The government, the federal government, the state government, and the local government is going to want taxes off of the $250,000, and then because you're going to file that in your business taxes as an INC, and then you're going to file as your personal taxes, whatever came out of that. So let's say out of 300,000, you live in New York. Let's say you're left with 180, 190,000 after your INC has paid taxes. Now you claim you've made 190,000. Now the federal government, the state government, and the local government wants a piece of that as well through your personal taxes. So the way to get around that, if you don't need shareholders in your company, as an LLC, because you would need that as an INC, you would have to have an INC to have shareholders. As an LLC, what you do is you set it up as an LLC. Now Mimi has the LLC, Nails by Mimi, Manicurist by Mimi, that made $250,000, and she only has to pay taxes on one time, person and company as that LLC. Not going to get into all that now, and you don't pay. This is the difference between being an employee and a business owner. An employee, if you make $250,000 in somebody's business, the government says you made $250,000 in wages. We want taxes on all of that. Now, Mimi, as the business owner, she only pays on her profit. So she made $250,000 as revenue, but she had $20,000 in marketing. We deduct that. She had $15,000 in business travel expenses. We deduct that. She took a trip to Jamaica. More than 50% of it was business, so we're going to write that off as well. She, was put some videos on YouTube, a lot of things that she was doing to kind of show what her business is doing. So that's a business trip. That was $5,000. All of these things are going to get deducted. And we don't want to deduct too much because then that's a whole nother thing. But you're going to deduct those things. Now, instead of $250,000, you've made, let's say, $200,000, you're paying taxes on that. So just as a point. One of the things I help people with in the short term, you get your LLC, you go back to your employer, you tell them, now I want to work as a 1099 consultant instead of a employee. One, they don't now have to pay insurance. So it's going to benefit them a little bit. It's going to benefit you because you're going to get much more money on the back end, or on the, maybe even on the front end, but on the back end without having to pay taxes on all that. But okay, having said that, now you want to get the LLC. I think the first step for everybody that doesn't have an LLC, I can't tell you that the 48 hours this is what you should commit to, but if I were you, I'd do it. I'd put it on a credit card. I'd do what needs to get done. I'd ask a friend, whatever, get your LLC immediately. And I want to show you, if you Google, I don't want you to pick these first ones. Anything that says ad in front of it, they're going to charge you in order to do it. If somebody's going to charge you to do it, then just send the money to me. I mean, I'm going to show you how to do it on your own really quickly, right? Don't pay these people, because what's going to happen is it's looking like it's the government, but no, it's LegalZoom. Or everybody can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. Or it's, let's see, it's LegalZoom, or it's, you see these different ones that come up first, right? This is kind of how they get you. So you end up, look, they'll help you do it, but $49 plus the state filing fees. So you're gonna have to, I'm gonna show you how to do it on your own. You're gonna have to pay the state filing fees, but this is how you circumvent paying someone else. Now, for all you that are listening, these were some of the first ones to engage with me on the Instagram and on Facebook. So that's why they're getting this for free. But for all of you that are listening and paid for this, I would still tell you the same thing. Do not go that route. what you want to do is you want to find where it's a .gov address. This is whatever state you're in. You want to go to a .gov. You'll know it's a .gov because when you get there, it's going to say something like Department of State, and it's going to have in the corner the logo for your state. And it's going to be a .gov. Once you go there, really simply, here we're at New York, it's going to show you what you need to do. Now, hold on, before I go further, I want to say this respectfully, but I'm just going to go ahead and say it. It's an old saying, if you want to hide something from Black folk, put it in a book. One of the reasons I have found why so many people, Black folk in particular, don't level up in their business is because they see all this reading and they get nervous. Or they'll end up paying somebody. Hey, I mean, it's better to pay somebody than just get it done. But don't get nervous about this. Read through it. It's really not that hard at all, right? So you don't even have to read the whole thing. How do I form? I'm going to show you here, and everybody's going to get the link to this at no charge because I appreciate you for spending your time here. You go here, you click that one link, file online, boom. Just that simple. And it's going to show you exactly how to file your LLC. All right, so I wanted to throw that out first. You want to get that LLC. Once you do that, I think in New York, I probably should look what the charge is. What is the fee? I think the fee is like 150 to 200. It's one of the more expensive ones. Some states like Florida is free. Maryland, I think it's probably like 100, but it's worth it. Remember, I told you the story about the $40,000 that my homeboy missed out on, all because, you didn't take that step. All right, so like this will show you, okay, here we go. Is it telling how much it costs? There we go, right here. So it's $125. Actually, this is for a certificate of incorporation, which is slightly different than an LLC. I think the LLC is a little bit more, but this is if you wanted to do an INC. People do INCs for different reasons. They have shareholders, they want it to be public, they want to get public funding, then you need an INC. All right, so moving off of that. The next step is to get your EIN immediately. Soon as you get, I'm showing you how to do the steps. I want to order your steps. There's steps in this. You take that very first step, you get the LLC. Second step is you're going to get the EIN. Again, Google's going to be your friend here. Get EIN number. Same thing applies. Now, don't get fooled. IRS, federal tax ID. I want to make sure somebody's listening. Come off mute. How do we know I don't want to click this right here?
It says .com.
For one, it's a .com, and then it says add. All right, so these are two things that's going to let you know. I'm going to come here, .gov, irs.gov. See, and this is the other thing psychologically why I want you to do this. Most people think of the IRS and their heart starts beating fast. And I like the IRS because I'm getting paid. I want to change your mindset around, see, this is how those of us who are accruing wealth, we think differently about the government. We think differently about monies. We think differently even about the same systems that other people look at, like, oh, the IRS is calling. IRS is calling. I want to pick that up because they might be giving me an opportunity. All right, so here you go. You're going to go to this, and you're going to get that EIN. You first have had to have applied with the state. So really quickly, I know I'm going quickly. The LLC, the INC, the S-Corp, whatever that is going to be through your state. That's statewide only. Now you're going to go to the IRS, which is the federal government, because the federal government says, do you want an EIN? You don't need an EIN to run your business, but you should get one, because to open your business bank account, you will need an EIN. And you should have a business bank account. My grandfather once taught me this. He's the first entrepreneur in our family. He said, Darrell, you need to open your business bank account. I said, well, why? Because I'm still getting started. He said it at least alerts the government that you expect to make money at some point. Like, oh, good point. So the 3 steps I think everybody should take, except for Robert, because you already did it. If I were you, before Christmas, I get the LLC, which does cost, the EIN, which costs nothing, and the business bank account, which is free. And you might even be able to get an incentive, and I'll show you that, to open your business bank account. Apply online now. For some reason, this is saying it's unavailable, I think, because it's not working hours. So go Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Now you got your EIN. That spits that out immediately. Now they can mail you the whatchamacallit, but that spits that out immediately. So now you take that EIN letter, you're going to print that out, you're going to take the LLC, and then you're going to go to a bank and open your business bank account. You need these things because, again, let's go back to the PPP. If you had the EIN, you were eligible. But if you had a relationship with the bank, and you can only have a relationship with the bank because you already have a bank account in some level, but definitely have a business bank account, it's going to be better, you were more likely to get the monies. In some cases, I had one bank that reached out to me and just said, hey, did you apply? I was like, yeah, I've been applying in these third-party sites. They were like, no, do it through us. Because remember, the bank gets a cut too. So they're happy to have you do business with them. All right, so you go to the bank. I would encourage you, again, go to Google and probably look up business account opening incentive, especially end of the year. All right, and kind of see what's out there. Remember, the bank is using your money. So there's all types of things where it might be, hey, if you put in $500, if you know you're just going to park it anyway, then park it. $500, we'll give you $100 after 60 days if you keep it in there. Or, you know, different types of offers. All right, so there you go. So now you have that. The next thing I want you to do is...
Hold on. Something about it being the end of the year?
Yeah, so since it's the end of the year, remember, banks are companies just like anybody else. They're trying to get out of the red line. They're trying to clear whatever debts, or I don't want to say clear whatever debts. They're trying to make whatever money they can to put on their books toward the end of the year or claim whatever losses. So you're more likely to get offers during this time. You know, this is Black Friday / Christmas / so the same way a store is like clearance, everything off, end of the year sale, the bank also is more likely to give offers during this time.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah. And really quickly, for people that are interested in knowing, the difference between a bank and a credit union is a credit union is owned by the members, a bank is owned by private hands. So Chase, the bigger financial institutions tend to be banks. Chase and Bank of America, both like over $1 trillion. They're right neck and neck with that. Somewhere between 1 and 2, they're like the top banks revenue-wise. But then you've got credit unions where if you are a member of something, so I'm a member of the Harvard Credit Union just because of the fact that I had gone there. Now, I won't, they give you some things, membership benefits as being a part of a credit union. But one of the best things about a credit union is you might be able to build a better relationship with them. So therefore, when things come down the pike, like government monies, SBA, we're going to talk about that, small bank, business association, you're going to be able to do more with that. All right.
So would you suggest a credit union over a bank when it comes to getting a business bank account?
I do both. I would start with the bank though, unless I already had a relationship with the credit union, because I have this thing that I'd rather be a small fish in a big pond, even if I don't have the relationship, and build it rather than vice versa. So it's not, you can do both, but I would encourage you open with the big banks because then at least you are privy to some of the opportunities and things that are happening there.
Okay, gotcha.
And the banking thing is its own system, not to get off track here, but what the Kanye West incident / fiasco should teach everybody is that people are still relying on the banks to do business. And once the banks make a statement about you, it could really cause a lot of detriment. So, I encourage people, get good relationships with the banks. Don't do fraud. I mean, just don't. Don't play around with it because it's just not worth it. You want to be able to have a good relationship and be able to have them calling you, like banks will call me and say, hey, we got this opportunity. Do you want to take advantage of it? So 2 other things, Dun & Bradstreet. Dun & Bradstreet, once now, do you have your Dun & Bradstreet number?
No, I don't.
Got it. So I want you to, all right, please do this because you've already taken step 1, 2, and 3. Let's go to 4. 4 is you're going to go to Dun & Bradstreet. This is free again. This is now free. You're going to go and get that number. Again, you have to have the I think you have to have the license and the EIN by this point. So you see how it builds. That Dun and Bradstreet number makes you more available to get certain products and services. It also makes you available to get better credit, business credit, and for some of the certifications that I'm going to show you, I know New York is one of them. New York State, in order to do business with them, you do have to have a Dun and Bradstreet number. So
you said a Dun and Bradstreet number?
Yep. And if you put that, I'm sharing the screen here. If this is dnb.com, if you Google that, it's going to come up and you have that. That allows companies to sort
Can
of—
you repeat that web address for me, please?
Sure. It's dnb.com. So D as in Darrell, N as in Nivea. Actually, let me make sure. And then B as in Bradstreet. Just so small. Got it. Last thing here, before we get into minority certification, you need to get an NAIS code. Now, all of the things that I'm showing you here, if you have them and you put them in a document, this is the other thing, get organized, put it in a Google Drive, have it already available. Because the things I'm showing you now, before you even get minority certified, this is going to help you. When I registered to do things through the federal government, I had to have it. Through the state government, I had to have it. Through the city government, I had to have it. When I started doing certain businesses with certain companies, I had to have it. So if you already had it set up, I don't want you to think like, oh, this is a one-time thing, I got it. No, I want you to change your mindset around, now I'm an enterprise owner, not an entrepreneur. I'll show you that. It's a difference. Entrepreneurs, a lot of times, they're working more than the people at their job. They should have just gone back to their job. The whole point of starting a business is so you have time, freedom. Remember, money is the symbol of energy, of freedom and abundance. I want you to have freedom and abundance to do what you've been called to do. And part of being able to do that is to rise to become an enterprise owner. That's what you are now, an enterprise owner. Part of doing that is having the mindset, all right, I got everything already together. All right, this NAICS code is going to be how you designate both on your taxes as well as to government entities what it is that you do. So if you go to the North American, this is called the North American Industry Classification System. It's every type of code for businesses across the country, and it's letting you know. So let me see, how do we do this? Boom, 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 boom. Let's go here. Okay. So you see, once you go here, right, you would click here. So what this is ultimately, let me step back. Ultimately, it's going to give you this, what is it, 6-digit number. This 6-digit number, let me step back a little further. The whole point of this is, let me go to you, Robert. You have a towing company. When you say towing, if I'm in Cali, I don't know what that means. Does he have trucks? Does he have cars? Is he consulting? Because you could be consulting and never, remember, that was one of the things I showed you, right? You work with me, Robert. I'm just going to throw this out here. I'm going to show you how to make exactly what you're making plus more without driving the truck. Uber doesn't own one car and they're making more than most car companies. So that's a whole nother thing. So I want you to expand your mind. You don't have to have the car in order to be doing this. So it might be consulting around towing. You might be the technology provider. So to prevent all confusion, across North America, there are 6-digit codes where everybody can recognize and say, oh, that's what they do. That code, you're going to have a primary one. You can change this. I mean, people shift with their business all the time. That primary code is what you're going to identify both to the government and to companies exactly what you do. How to do that is, remember, you're all are going to get this, so you don't have to necessarily remember this. You're going to first go and see, so let's do towing. Where would this be? Boom, boom, boom. Most likely, would it be transportation? and warehousing, right? So you see now it's giving me more codes. So I'm going to put in, I'm going to put tow. Okay, I don't see. Oh, yes, I do. You see? You looking at this, Robert? If you driving, don't look at it.
No, I'm looking. I'm at the light.
All right. Okay, you at the light. All right. So before the light goes off, that might be your code. Motor vehicle towing. You see? So that would allow the government to know in any industry that's looking you up, oh, we know exactly what he does because it's this. Now, you can have secondary, third, tertiary, all of that. But that would be your primary one. Really quickly here, I just feel the need to say this to somebody. When you pick your business, especially in the beginning, unless you know exactly what you're doing, you might want to pick a name that's more general that allows you to do a lot of things. I had my mentor. So everybody, look, to get to the next level, you need a mentor. So my mentor built a $300 million company starting from his house on a napkin, and he built it into an executive recruitment firm. One of the things he came to me and told me, he said, take your name out of your business. It looks too small, because it was Bennett Books Media when I met him. He said, it looks too small. Take your name out, and it's too confining. Because if you get a contract to do this or that and it says media, it's going to look weird. So I rebranded it as BSG Global, which could be a lot of different things. So I encourage you to maybe pick a name, unless you know exactly. Like for people that are really in the creative art space, maybe you, Mimi, wouldn't take that advice because you might know it's nails by this or whatever, because that might go with your Instagram handle. Got it. But if you want to do things generally, for somebody like you, Robert, you need to have something general, because I could see you being in the consulting space about it. I could see you being a technology vendor. I could see you being the operator. There's so many things you could do around it. Even if you still have vehicle in it, even though I probably wouldn't, it could just be, toll, transportation, something else, right? And that could be, because you might end up getting boats, you might end up getting planes. Now that's all under one thing. All right, so really quickly, you got your business structure, you got your EIN, you got your bank account, you got your NAICS code, and you got your Dun & Bradstreet number. Now you're ready to get certified. Any questions on that before we go to the certification? All right, I'll show you New York. And at any point, you can stop me. Hold on, I see some things in the chat. Let me see something. Oh, I'm not screen sharing. Am I screen sharing now?
Yes, I got it. It was me.
Okay, no problem. I want to make sure y'all see it. This is so I'm going to show you New York, but every state pretty much has some version of this. Two things you need to know off the bat. If this doesn't give you, this should give you incentive to get this rolling. The first is okay, let me go back. So it's a story like this. You remember how it used to be? So I'm 37 now. So I can remember when the only person that got a trophy was the person that won. It wasn't no like runner up, second honorable mention, third place next to the, and then it was, they got the trophy, everybody else, just didn't win. Then it became somehow around, I don't know, by the time I was a teenager, around the time they started saying you can't do dodgeball because that hurts people's self-esteem. Around that time, it's like, well, everybody's a winner. Everybody should get a trophy. So what happened was in the government space, the analogy to that is what they were finding was all of the trophies were going to the people that knew the people in power. So they were government contracts, and to get a government contract, you had to already know these people. You had to know the mayor, you had to know the governor, you had to know the president, you had to have already given them money, you had to be in the family, and that was how things were rolling. That still is the case, but this is the analogy that now everybody can get a trophy. They sit aside, I'm gonna say this again, this will have to get you excited. They sit aside certain amounts of money where they say, hey, you gotta give these contracts to companies that are minority and or women-owned enterprises. You take New York, for instance, they set aside 10% of all of their contracts that have to be They have to go to minority and women-owned business enterprises. They have to. That doesn't mean you can't still go for all of the bigger ones, right? Because the first step was they had to make it public. So I'll show you that even without getting certified. There are websites like this one for New York State where without even being minority certified, you can just bid and they're going to show you all the things. So that was the first way that they leveled the playing field. At least let us know. You know, it's almost like the job that didn't even go on Indeed. They just gave it to their friend. At least put it on Indeed so I can at least bid on it. But then the next level is if you are a minority, and that now is that's pretty much everybody. But they might be a little stringent and say it has to be Black, Hispanic, Pacific Islander, you know, whatever. And then women owned, so women, right? And some things just go to women owned businesses. Then they have to put those monies aside. So that ought to get you excited because some of the contracts you might get might be because it doesn't mean you're not qualified. It just means that otherwise it would have gone to a friend of a friend. So now you don't have to know the friend of a friend. Now you're certified, right? So just being in that. All right, so that's the first thing you need to know. The second thing you need to know is, even though it is certain states a little bit of a process, it's worth it because what it's going to do is it's going to allow you and to get contracts. You can end up getting a contract where you make what you make at your job, and now you just got that contract for your business. I mean, you would probably tell your job to go shove it somewhere. And now that could be the first way that you get set up. I know several people that they made their first million just through the government. I can tell you that the government has been one of my favorite friends. And it's always good to get a government check. For anybody that's ever felt like they've been oppressed by the government at any point, when you look in your portal or you look at your bank account and you're getting a check from that same agency, it feels good. It feels good. It feels like, thank you, Jesus, for flipping the script. So this is how you want to do it. Now that you're already set up, you got the LLC, you got your EIN, you got your bank account, you got your codes, you know what it is that you're doing because you're clear. You got your Dun & Bradstreet number. Now what you do is you go on to, and I'm going to just drop this link in the chat for you right here if you're in New York. So it's going to make this super simple. This is where you're going to go if you're in New York. If I'm in Maryland, Nivea, get minority certified. Now, this is the thing, right? You can do it for the city and the state. Let me see how it would be for the state. Now, I'm not going to click the here. Now, I might still click to get information. I mean, don't get me wrong, but I want to come right here. Baltimore City Law Department. Look at that. This is all for you, Nivea. Are you still in Baltimore? Or you in
I am.
There you go. All right. So this is going to show you. So click here for the directory. No, but we want to get started. I just want you to show how quick it is. Click here for the directory. Please note women review of their renewal application. Yeah, but we want to get up in there. If ever you're having a problem finding it, you can always, I go right to contact us. Certification process. Let's go there. Criteria. Okay, here's the criteria. So this is why, Nivea, you need to do this yesterday. You got to be in operation for 12 months before you even get certified. I don't think that's the case in New York. I think all you have to do is prove your ethnicity. And they're serious because, just by the way, for New York, I remember they called me and said, we need proof of your parents and their parents' lineage. I said, well, can I just get on a Zoom? I mean, I think that would be proof. I am an African American. They were like, no, it's a lot of fraud. We gotta be able to prove. I said, so that's different. So you see how this knocks people out, right? So that's why I need you to get this yesterday, Nivea. So at the earliest, this is telling you that you wouldn't be able to do this until December of 18th of 2023, which is fine because you could still apply for the contracts. It's just you are not necessarily minority certified. All right. But that's a start, right? So all right, so what's going to happen is, I'm not going to go through all this here because it is its own process. It really is. I do help walk people through it, but I don't want you to get lost in the weeds here with that. You can walk yourself through it as well. Different states are different as to how it takes. Now, how I do is, you set up a session with me. I can either for that one session in 60 minutes, I can show you everything I know and we can go through it. Or, I work with people where they need their hand held through the whole thing. Usually it's 4 sessions. Now I'm gonna put this offer out here now. I do 60-minute sessions on this for $500. But for those that are either here now or listening to this, because this is gonna go out within the next 24 hours, I will do for $250 before the end of the year. Before the end of the year. So if you're interested in having 60 minutes one-on-one with me where I walk you through how to do this, and you get 60 minutes with yours truly, then for $250 before the end of the year, I just want to be very clear because this offer does expire at December 31st. Then I can show you how to do this. But otherwise, you can go on here. This is how I did it. It took me a while. It was a little bit of frustration, but I did go through it on my own. You go through the process. It's worth it because this is what you get to. This is what I want you to see. This should get you excited. So remember, there's 3 levels of government. Let's start with the lowest. There's the city. That's what I'm gonna show you now. There is the state. That's what I'll show you in a second. And then there is my favorite. There is, of course, the federal government, all right? So before we get to, and each of these has their own process. Ironically, Fed was easier than city to get certified, but that's a whole nother thing. Once you're in there, this is what, for the city, when I talked about 10% being set aside, that's New York City. Every state and city is different, but New York City says 10% of our contracts we set aside. So these are now contracts that only people who've gone through the process can bid through. Now, Robert, I want your ears to be perked up, and I'm gonna tell you why. You and me can do business together, really simple. You may not be certified yet, but I am. I work with people like this. So this is what happens. I'll bid on the contract, I win it, you do the work, we have a revenue share model. So now you get a contract you wouldn't have gotten otherwise. I get money I wouldn't have gotten otherwise. The city gets a job done they wouldn't have gotten otherwise. Remember, the city, the state, the federal government, all alike you and me, they need things done as well. So they're gonna bid, they're gonna have people bid. Now I'm gonna show you how the first contract I got, they came running for me to do it. I was actually surprised. But this is how it goes, all right? This is, you can, and you can see here, let me go down here. This is 150 results. It's probably about 30, 40 of these tabs. You can search by keywords, every type of agency. Let's do towing. Let's do towing since you're here in New York. And we're gonna also do Mimi because we can do the same thing, Mimi, because you have license. I mean, you have which customer? We don't have towing. I saw one actually for a truck. They needed a truck, and I thought about you, Robert. The state government said they needed a truck. So let's take transportation. This is one. This sealed bid is being released, processed, Okay, what is it saying? So this one is already passed. But this is an example of, that's not a good one because that doesn't really give, it is a good one, we'd have to read more into it. Let me see one of the first ones. I just want you to see how all of these turns into money because people are bidding on these and maybe they aren't even bidding, let's just take one generally. So let's take one that is going to expire in 9 days. This is the Department of Parks and Recreation. So if they want to bid, you have to go here. what's up? These not showing descriptions. So what are they asking for? So this is the construction of a skate park. Now, I'm going to tell you something right now. I'm going to throw this out here. This is a big money maker. And really, I'm going to just throw it out here. I always want to give value. If this doesn't make you $100,000 within the next 12 months, then that means I don't know what you've been doing. This tip that I'm going to give you, this one tip, if everybody that's listening audibly, that's hearing it later, you need to really tap in on this. You ain't got to do the work. I show people how to do that. You leverage your relationship. You get the bid. You find the person that does the work. They do the work. Y'all split the profits. Boom. That's how you do it. So I don't want you to look at this like, oh my gosh, I can't, constructing a skate park. Who do I know in my network? This can't be Pookie and them. That's not what I mean. Who has a company that this is what they do, and I can go to that company. Let me think smart, because this is the minority certification website. Maybe it's owned by Caucasian folks. They couldn't get this contract because it's been set aside. I'm going to come to them and say, I got the lead in that you won't get. I guarantee you, when I say split, it may not be 50-50, right? It's many ways to do it, but it's a way to make it lucrative for both parties. And now, just like that. All right, so that's how that will work. Let me just see if I can put in here. I don't know about nails because we're talking about the government, but let's do, I want you to think bigger, beauty. Because I've seen plenty of things where it's like wellness and fitness centers and things like that, Mimi. That may be where you fit in because now you have a program. So you don't just do the manicure, and now you have a program that's about beautifying yourself, wellness, taking yourself to the next level, feel good, feel great. So beauty. And this is just about keywords. It might not even be those keywords, but I've seen, oh wow, now it's playing. Let me just see. What else? What else would be a keyword that you might put in? Beauty, fashion. Let me see if fashion comes up. That's interesting. Now, this is just the city one though. The state has many more opportunities. And this one right here, I'm gonna just drop this link in here for y'all for New York. You definitely need to go on this. For the sake of time, I'm not gonna go through that one. This right here, you don't even have to be minority certified. I'm just giving you that. All you gotta do is register. You do have to have all the stuff I told you before. But that right there is a whole nother portal for the state. And you can imagine if the city has a lot of stuff, imagine what the state has. And if the state has it, imagine what the federal government has. All right, so let me just say this and I'll open it up for questions. I got my first contract because this woman, I went through the whole process and this woman calls me and she says, actually, she emails and says, I've been trying to get a hold of you and your company. Please reach back to us. This was a Thursday. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like, okay, yeah. So I reached back. What it was I changed my email. So be careful. Don't do what I did. I changed my email because I rebranded from BSG Group to BSG Global. So got to change it in the minority system. So the emails are bouncing back. She was trying to get a hold of my company, but it was bouncing back. Anyway, she finds me. I know this was divine. She finds me and she's like, we want you to do a mentorship program with the mayor's office. And we're going to partner with the mayor's office and the veteran service office. And we want you to do the mentorship program. And I was like, I don't know. I was like, I'm not really. She's like, no, I think you really should do it. We really want you to do it. I'm like, okay. Remember what I told you what David said. Surely goodness and mercy will follow after you. This is how when you're blessed, because I'm blessed and you're blessed, just need to be aware of it. Blessings will follow after you. She's like, the deadline is Friday. I really need you to apply for this. I said, but tell me more about the program. Because I was trying to find a way to get out of it. She said, well, it's 20 mentors and it's 20 mentees and you'll be teaching it. I said, well, I can't get 20 mentees, because where am I going to get 20 mentees from? We already have all that together. All you got to do is submit the bid, submit the proposal. So what do you think I did? I came up with another excuse. I sound like Moses at the burning bush, all these excuses. I can't do this. I can't talk. I said, well, a proposal, you said is due tomorrow. She said, a proposal is all you have to do is send me an email that says what you want to do and give me your price. So I had to think about that. What? Send me an email, tell me your price. So I sent her, I said, well, it can't be that easy, but if it's that easy, why not try it? Thursday, I sent her an email, sent her a price. Friday, I'm in contract with the New York City Mayor's Office and the Veterans Affairs Office to do this program at the price that I designated, not $1 less. And if I would have asked for more, I'm sure they would have given me more. I'd probably lowball myself. Now, this is the thing. This goes to show the power of people in relationships. Within a week, she had left that agency. She had left that agency. But because she had already made the connection with me with the mayor's office, now it turned out that her office, who originally had given the recommendation or had the proposal, was like, well, we don't have anybody to do this contract because she left. But the mayor's office said, oh, no, we know the guy. We were introduced through the woman, even though she left. So long story short, the person that brought me in, the sponsor, the champion that brought me in, that found me, she never had a conversation with her since then. Never had a conversation with her since then. I wanted to try to thank her. She just dropped off the radar. For all I know, she was an angel from heaven. But if she was an angel, she'd been working there for a long time. She had been working there, got this contract, and that was the beginning of me starting to do business with the city government. And I've been doing business with them ever since. So I wanted to end that with that story because what's stopping you? Now I want to open it for questions. I notice link, if it ends at 11:15, I know I put in 11:15, I'll send y'all something really quickly to jump on to just finish, but I don't think it should just shut off. But I did put to 11:15. So hope that added value to you. If that added value to you, just put that in the chat. Value. I'm not about going viral. I want to go value. We'll go viral too, but I want to go value. Just put value in there. And put one thing that you learned from me today. Any questions on what I have shared thus far, or what I shared today?
No, I've learned a lot.
Okay. What did that do?
I had a question about the getting minority certified, and how does that look in the creatives and like performing arts? Because my business is dance, but I also want to bridge in mental health as well as dance. I don't think there's a lot of places that are incorporating the two and they work well together. So that's one of the things that I want to do, is be able to mentor youth, but also adults as well. Have them have a therapist or somebody that can get into their mental as well as, bringing that into their physical.
Yes. So that is a great question. I want to answer it this way. The first thing is, give me 1 second because I just want to make sure there's and I will put that in your inbox if we have any issues with this link. So 2 things. The first is, you're in the business of getting customers, not necessarily dance. I want you to remember that. And if you think about yourself as an industry, think about artistry. It's so many ways, because somebody might hear dance and be like, and I've seen you dance, right? So you're on another level. I mean, somebody sees that and is like, well, I can't dance. How do I? No. You're in the business of getting customers. Your industry is artistry. So what does that look like? I want you to focus not on the mechanism, but the mindset. The mechanism is the dance. That's the 3D world. That's how your taste, touch, the 5 physical senses, that's the lowest place of being. That's how it's manifesting. But the mindset behind it is, what is that? What are you really showing people? Is it so they feel better about themselves? Is it so they have more self-esteem? Is it, and if you wonder that, look at who you've had most impact with. Like, really go back to them and say, why do you keep coming back to me? What did you get out of this? Because sometimes when, the fish is the last person to know they're in water. So you think you're teaching dance, but maybe you're teaching women or men how to think better about themselves, how to feel better, how to be sexy again. Like, I'm not trying to be provocative by saying sexy, but to feel yourself again, to know that, you to vibe with your own self. If that's the case, now, Nivea, I want you to think about all the ways that can manifest. That can manifest in wellness programs, that can manifest in college programs, that can manifest in what you're doing, faith-based programs. Like, all of these things, I want you to think so much larger than dance. Once it becomes, that's what it is, yeah. You're doing it through dance, maybe. Or what are you doing? That's what you really got to think about. How are you making people feel? What is the real value that's being added? I can go to TikTok and learn how to dance. I'm coming to you because there's something different, special, unique, powerful. And I'm kind of sharing some things with you too, because a lot of people don't know the business that they're in. You gotta know the business that you are in. You gotta know what you're really adding to people. Once you know that, now let's say the contract is people, I can think of 3 avenues right now. People who are professionals trying to level up in their career and in their life. I think, well, how does dance relate to that? Well, confidence. So many people lack confidence, and that's why they're not getting the business contracts. That's why they're not going on the interview. So now it's about teaching a program through dance, but I'm teaching you how to get your confidence back. And now it can be testimonials, Nivea, around, I did this class with her, and I felt so good about myself. I attracted a mate. I started attracting a different job. You see what I'm saying? So now it becomes the person that before said, well, I couldn't dance, that doesn't relate to me, is like, I'm gonna learn. And even if I just sitting there, I want to be around this group of people. And I don't want to keep saying women because it may be bigger than that. This group of people who are doing this. So that's the first thing I want you to think about. How does it fit with it? So that was the first lane. I said professionals. The second might be picking themselves back up. Maybe they went through personal crisis. Maybe they're coming out of some level of incarceration, physically, mentally, in a domestic abuse relationship. You know how many women there are, men there are, that's been, just their minds have been screwed with. So now it's about, this is a safe space. And I know you to be a woman of great faith and power. So now it's this safe space where it's mind, body, spirit, soul. I'm going to teach you how to use your body to bring your spirit to another level of vibration. You see how just me talking about your business different is going to add more customers. You know what we should do, Nivea, for real? And by the way, I told your father, I'm like, when I come to DC, Maryland, because I'm planning some big trips in New York, from next year, y'all the first people I'm coming to see. The first, I love your father. I love what he's doing. And I just love what your family's doing. And so I think, and maybe this is something we wait till we're side by side, put me on a live with you. Whatever you think you're doing, let me talk for 5 minutes. And I guarantee you, it'll be a whole nother crowd to say, I didn't even think that she was doing all this. Because sometimes it's about the story, thank you, the story that we tell. I'm saying something else to you for everybody really listening. It's sometimes not what we're doing, it's the story we tell about it. Really quickly, I want to tell you something. It was two groups of people that went, y'all ever seen like storage wards where they go and they get all this stuff out of the storage and then they, it may be trash, it may be one piece of great thing, whatever, and they go and sell it, right? So I knew people who did this. Well, it was 2 groups. One was the group that did it the regular way, bought it, took the stuff, put it out on the auction block or put it out in an auction garage sale. Another was run by an English professor. Check this out. You might think, well, what would be the difference? What he did was he went and for each of the items, he told his people who were selling a story about it and had them learn the story. It wasn't just a vase, even if it was just a vase. This was from such and such and so. So whatever, it came from such and such and so. It, was handed down this. Each item had a story. Do you know he was able to clear 3 times as much with the same items as the next person just by telling stories? So what does that let you know? Sometimes it's not the business that's the problem, it's the story you're telling. It's the story you're telling. Last thing I want to say to you, Nivea, with as powerful a family as you have and of everything that you're connected with, even without being minority certified, you need to go on the sites to find out how you can bid, because you can bid without being minority certified. You need to start leveraging that, because some people are going to give you business just because of the name. I'm telling you, it's Baltimore too. It's not as much like New York, where it's, it's millions of people. So you if you have the Trump name, then maybe, but Baltimore is a powerful enough city, right, where it's going to be a lot of contracts, and then you have that name, and y'all have worked this. I mean, it's not just your parents, right? I've seen how you worked in that ministry, and so don't take for granted the fact that I want to speak this into your life, that there are people who are in positions of power, who are releasing contracts, who already know what you do, but because they have never seen you in this light, Nivea, they never saw you as the business owner, but they love you, they're connected with you, but they didn't see you as a business owner. They didn't, because you got to see it first. You got to see it first. Now they see it, it's like, wait a minute, we're about to award this contract. We want to give it to you. This is the thing too, this will be the last thing I'll say, this is for everybody. Think small, get rich. No, people say think big. Okay, think big, but think Walmart. Think Sam Walton. He got rich by selling, I don't want to say cheap items, but low cost items. So what does that mean? You ain't got to bid on $1 million. That's where everybody's going to be bidding. You ain't got to bid on the $500,000. What's the $10,000 contract for 3 months to run a program for 4 hours a week? Right? Like, what's that one that probably 2 or 3 other people are bidding on? That's not, you know what I mean? That's maybe the crumbs, but a bunch of crumbs can lead to a whole meal.
Hey, Darrell, I got to jump off real quick because my battery's about to die, but I'm really grateful for this opportunity you've given me.
I appreciate you. Absolutely. Thank you. We're going to end in 5 minutes because I know we're going on. Thank you, Queen. Take action steps, Queen.
I will.
All right. I'm going to follow up with you. I mean that.
Yeah. And also, promised me that you would be more available to contact.
I'll be more of that. Yes, Queen.
All right. So talk to you a little later.
All right. Talk to you later. I tell you, this is my no disrespect or anything. This is my mistress right now. Like, for real. Like, I'm so in love with seeing people live their best life, live their greatness, take themselves to the next level. This is how I engage with most people until maybe it goes to another step or whatever. But yeah, I definitely will. 5 minutes. So we'll end this at 1:30. Are there any last questions? Because I really want to make sure. Mimi, how do you feel? Do you feel, especially holding your son in your arms, do you feel empowered now to say, I should have been doing this?
You know, what's funny is that I've always had these ideas of doing things, and just, when you have kids, there's a lot of splitting that time between figuring out, prioritizing what do I really need to do right now in this moment. And for a while, I didn't have the space to prioritize these kinds of things. But now that he's a little bit older, I do. So I'm just feeling, better that I am on the right track, because I do have all of these things, or I have had all of these things written down as far as getting the LLC and getting the EIN and all of those things. So, now it's like, all right, I got my action plan, and now I can just step forward and take some action.
I love that. Now, let me ask you something really quickly, Mimi. When you schedule your clients, how do you do it? What platform are you using?
They'll either go through my website and get my email from that, or they'll get my email from my Instagram, or they get it from word of mouth.
So, but I'm saying, once you schedule it, once it's 12 p.m., we're meeting, where are you blocking, or do you have a calendar where you're blocking that off?
Oh, like Google Calendar?
Okay, this is what I want you to do. You said this twice, and I'm here to help you. So this is all in love. When you say this differently, Mimi, I'm telling you, it's going to change. It's going to change the way you think. Don't say you didn't have the time. Just say it in love, right? So there's just no judgment here. You didn't make the time, right? Because if you didn't have it, you won't have it now. Now I want you to make it. This is how you're going to make it. Mimi, I want you for the rest of the year, do it every workday. Do it every workday. Schedule 30 minutes for your number one client on your calendar. That's Mimi. No, I'm serious. Schedule it though, because this is what will happen if you schedule it. I really want to ask you to do that. If you schedule it and you don't adhere to it, then you're missing an appointment. Let's be very clear. And that you wouldn't do that with somebody else. So why do we rush for someone else? You are your most important asset. I want you to be selfish right now, for real. Selfish so you can build what you're going to build for your young son. So schedule that time, because one, either you're going to do it and you're going to you do 30 minutes for the 18th, for the next, well, it's not quite 12 days, but let's say it's 10 days, weekdays. That's 300 minutes towards something concerning your business. If you don't do it, right, then you've missed the appointment, but at least it comes up. It's gotta be top of mind, Mimi. You gotta disrupt the pattern, because if you don't, you told me yourself, it's been several years. So this is the way to stop it. Soon as we get off your schedule, and this is the great thing, since it's you're the client, you make it when it's best for you. Is it morning? Is it night? When is he sleep? When is what? You schedule that. And I'm gonna follow up with you about that. That's gonna be my follow-up for you. I'm gonna Instagram you within 2 days, and I'm gonna be like, Mimi.
I know you are.
I want to see you do that, because I know you to be incredible with having an idea and following through. I've seen that. I've seen that over many years when you put your mind to it.
Mm-hmm.
One of our first interactions, you were telling me about myself. I don't forget about that.
Wait.
That was a long time ago. Myself. I'm being serious though. I'm being serious. So I know you to be tenacious. I want you to be tenacious about your business. I want you to be tenacious about your business, Mimi. And I want you to remember there's somebody that's waiting. It's a government contract waiting for you right now. All right. So
thank you.
Absolutely. I know it's the last 2 minutes. I just want to say thank you. I really do appreciate it. And if this is the one thing I will ask, I'm gonna just put it out there and ask. If you can make no more than 60 seconds, just make a video saying what this has helped you with and send it to me. Because the more that I'm able to have like testimonials and send it to people or put it out there, it's able to spread the word and we're able to get more people. If more people thought like this, we wouldn't have some of the issues that we're having, quite frankly. We wouldn't have bosses yanking people's chains, they at home telling people, you gotta come to work, or da-da-da-da-da. What kind of mess is that? So I wanna ask you to help me spread the word. You can do 60 seconds, whenever you get a chance over the next 48 hours, while it's still fresh, maybe today, just say, look, I learned this from this seminar from Darrell, and just, obviously giving me permission, and I wanna share that. That's my ask. That's my ask for you. All right. All right, y'all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. And once again, I will just put this offer out there. If you're interested, $250. It's usually $500 an hour, but $250 for the rest of the year. $250 American dollars. I'm going to be clear on that for anybody that's listening, because I had somebody reach out and say, well, just some other currency. It's American dollars, y'all. I will sit with you for 60 minutes. And I will walk with you specifically with your business, how you can get this set up. All right. So much love to y'all, and talk to you the next time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.